Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is April and I am the owner and photographer of ACB Photography, and today I am back with another Photoshop tutorial. For those of you that are studio photographers, you know how sometimes we can get extra items in the image that we may not need to have in our image, such as extra props. We may have the backdrop stand itself. We may have the light modifiers. In this example today, I'm going to show you step by step how to remove those distractions. And in particular, we have an image today right here with a client that brought in birthday balloons, number balloons for her birthday. As we pose her, as she's standing, the number is higher than the backdrop, and that poses a problem with editing. I'm going to show you step by step how we remove those distractions. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, let's get right into it. We're starting with this image. As I said, in the example, we have the client has brought in her number balloons. And as you can see, the number 3 is above the white backdrop, and I want all of this white. Okay. So we're going to start, as I start each of my edits, we're going to make a copy of the background layer. So we're going to hit Command J or Control J on PC. All right, and we're going to crop this image. Actually, the image is already cropped to a 4:5 ratio, but if we were going to crop it, we will go over here to our crop tool, click it, and it's going to save my last crop that I used, but we're going to activate the tool by clicking inside, and then we're going to go up here and set this to a 4:5 ratio, and we're going to extend it out the area that we want, and that's where we're going to have the crop. We're going to go up here and click the check mark for OK. And this is where we'll be starting. So since there are a lot of distractions that I need to get out, I need to get the light modifiers. I need to get the wall. I want to extend the backdrop, and we've got this little space up here. I'm going to start this image, and there are many ways of doing it, but this is just the way that I do it, the way that works for me. Before I start trying to fill in my backdrop, I am going to select my subject. So I can isolate this and just kind of get it out the way so I know what I'm working with. So I'm going to go to my Quick Actions tab, and I'm going to hit Select Subject. All right, after it takes a moment to gather the subject. All right, it's done a really good job, and Photoshop, the new updates they have done a really good job of making your subject selections. You can zoom in and just check, and that's perfect. So I want to make a copy of just the subject to have it by itself. So I'm going to hit Command or Control J. And that's going to put our subject into a new layer. So when we do that, you see that the marching ant lines, our selection lines, have disappeared. We need those back temporarily. So I'm going to hold down Command, and I'm going to click inside of the layer, and it's going to bring those back. I'm going to hide this for now, and I'm going to go back to the previous layer with all the information, because only this layer has the subject in it, nothing else. So I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to grab a selection tool, the lasso tool for example, and I'm going to right click inside of the subject selection, and I'm going to do a content aware fill. When you do that, it's going to bring up another menu, and it's going to give you some suggestions, and this is exactly what I want it to do. I want it to fill in the subject with the backdrop so we can start working from there. So that is perfect. Over here, the green line, the green shaded parts are the parts that you want the fill selection to recreate. So that's why those are shaded. Now you can alter this if you want. If you didn't want the light stand shaded, you can go up here and click the minus and take it out. but it did a really good job, so I don't think anything else needs to be done, but that's what you can do if needed. So once it's like you want it, you can go down here and click OK. All right, so it has, since I've turned the other layer off, I've turned the copy off, you can see what's on this layer and it's nothing. So to remove that selection, we're going to hit Command D to remove those selection lines, and then we're left with the backdrop. So now I go up and I grab my marquee tool. All right, and then I'm going to use the marquee tool to select all of the areas that I want to fill in. And if you notice, I put a selection around all of this because, as you can see, my background paper is a little bit wrinkled at the top. I want to go ahead and fix that all in one step. So I'm going to select the top portion. I'm going to come and add. And another thing about selections, there are different planes up here. This right here, the first one, is just to make a single selection, nothing else. This one keeps adding on as we've got that selected. So whenever you see that plus sign beside the plus sign, that means we're adding on to the current selection. Right here, if I needed to take away from the selection, I would click that and it turns to a minus sign. If I've selected something I didn't intend on, I can come there and take it off. All right, so we're going to put here to add, and we're going to continue adding to what we need to recreate. So I'm going to go down, I'm going to select this all the way down because I need to get that leg of the light stand out. And I'm going to go over here and clear out this wall and this modifier from this side all the way down. And probably couldn't see it from afar, but I've got a little bit of a reflector in the floor. So I'm going to come and add that as well. All right, so once you've got everything added, I come down here to generative fill. Click that. I don't type anything in there. I just click generate. And Photoshop does a great job of generating what it thinks you want in the picture. So I'm just going to let it work, and it's going to give us 3 options to start with. And that did a wonderful job. And what I do is I've made that copy of the subject. I can turn it on and off to get a feel of what the image is going to look like with the, and that looks really, really good. Let's just for tutorial's sake, let's scroll through the other option it gives us. So that's the first one. This is the second one, which is pretty good too. I like that one as well. I kind of like that one better. All right, and let's see what the third one is. I don't like that one so much. It puts some shaded areas in it. So I'm thinking I'm going to go with the second one. That looks really good to me. All right, so that gives us a good starting point. So I'm going to turn that off real quick. And on this layer is the generative edit. So I always merge that down with the previous layer. So to do that, I'm going to hit Command E. That's going to merge it with the previous layer. And then we can turn our subject back on. And let's just zoom in just to make sure that it got everything that we needed. And it looked like it did. It did a really, really good job. All right. So I'm also going to merge it back down. Command E. All right. So now we can see a brief before and after. There's before with all the extra unnecessary stuff in it, and there's the after. All right, so I'm going to take it one step further. Before I move further, I am going to Control S and save my progress. I have learned so many times over to save my project after every big thing, or it could be after every little thing. Save, because sometimes Photoshop crashes and everything you've done is lost. So I'm going to let it save first before I move on. All right, we've got it saved. Now we can move on. The next thing I do, I'm going to clean up anything in the backdrop that I can before I do my major cleanup edits. All right, so you see I used white foam board a lot during my sessions, and actually I have 2 of them. So that's the line that you see there, the line that I taped 2 of them together. So we're going to get that out real quick. I always use the remove tool. Over here on the side looks like a band-aid with the stars. That's what I use. I use it religiously. So I'm just going to come over here and paint over that line in the backdrop. And you can zoom in. When you zoom in, you can see exactly all of the distractions that are in your photo. And it's good to zoom in so that you don't miss anything, because y'all know when people look at our work, they zoom in, they see everything. So it's very beneficial to go ahead and zoom in real close. You see all the little scuff marks on my floor, which I just threw it away. Actually, I've used it for 2 years. It's served its purpose, and yeah, I finally threw it away because I was tired of doing all of this. Because I'm a big stickler when it comes to editing. I want everything to be right. So zoom in real close, y'all. Resize your remove tool to get in the areas that you need. Once again, the little shortcut to resize the tool is the left and right parentheses brackets. The left one decreases, the right one increases the size of the tool. All right, so I just go through here and we're going to get all these little distractions out. So when someone zooms in on your work, they will not see that. They'll be like, oh, she did not get all of that stuff out. That looks a mess. No, 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 no. They will not say that. Not if I can help it. All right, so I'm going to go through here real quick and finish up getting all the major things I see. And whatever is left over, we're going to get out in the next step. I'm going to leave that because I'm going to get that out in the next step. All right, I also take this time to clean up any distractions, any stray hairs. And I also either will use the remove tool or I use the clone stamp tool. I already have a tutorial on using the clone stamp tool, so I will link it above. But for this tutorial, just, to show you real quick how to do that, I just wipe them out with the remove tool. Does a very, very good job. Very good job. So I'm going to speed this up as I go through and clean up her stray hairs real quick. All right, and we're done. Okay, my next step is to get this backdrop a little bit smoother. I can see that there are still some rough little spots of the paper that was captured by the flash. I'm going to go in and smooth those out. So once again, I'm going to make a copy of my selection, my subject. I'm going to select my subject. And I do also have a tutorial on this process. I'm going to go through it really quickly for now. All right, with the subject selected, I'm going to go up here to select, and we're going to modify. We're going to expand it by 1 pixel. Then we're going to go back in and select, modify, and feather it by 1 pixel. I'm going to make a copy of it, Command or Control J. We're going to bring our selection back using Command and click that. We're going to go back to the previous layer and we're going to invert that. Select, inverse, so that we just have the backdrop selected. I'm going to also make a copy of it, Command J. Now on that layer, we have just the backdrop selected. So I'm going to add a little bit of blur, Gaussian blur to the backdrop. So I'm going to hit Filter, Blur, and then Gaussian blur. It's always going to end with the value that you used last. And my last value for the last pictures I edited was 73. I want to bump it up just a little bit more. And I've learned not to bump too high because that introduces banding. And we don't want banding, the color banding, the lines in our image. So I'm going to leave it about right there and click OK. Now, as an extra step to alleviate some of that banding, I'm going to add noise to the background as well. Just two little stops of noise. So I'm going to go up here, I'm going to hit Filter, then I'm going to hit Noise and add noise, and 2. That does help with the banding. So right now this looks pretty good. I am also a stickler of, I don't want my clients' feet look like they're just dangling in space. So I want to bring back those blur line, those shadows. I want to bring back the shadows up under here. So on this layer, I'm going to make a mask. I'm going to go down here and select the mask tool. All right, that masks what we just did to that layer, which is the Gaussian blur and the noise. And I'm gonna go up here and grab a regular brush tool. We're gonna right click that and make sure it's on the regular brush. And remember from previous tutorials, anything that we paint on in black subtracts. Anytime that we paint on with white, it adds. So we're gonna make sure black is selected, and you select your opacity to the point that you're comfortable. I did around 35% just so it doesn't take away too much at one time. So I'm just going to brush over. You see how the shadow is coming back and the shadows up under her are coming back. All right. So I do want those shadows in there because I don't want the client to look like she's just floating in air. So I welcome the shadows. All right, so that is to my liking. And at this step, I always zoom in because, as you know, when we're painting with black, we're taking away what we just did to the picture. We don't want to add back in any of those distractions that we took out. And you see right here, we've got some distraction lines. So I could go in, decrease the size of the tool, and I could go switch this to white. We're going to paint with white to add that blur back in right there to take those out. And you see how easy that is. We painted that right back in to take that blur out. And I also could have used the remove tool, but it's easier this way. I kept my shadows, but I'm also taking back out those distractions. So I just do a brief look throughout the picture to make sure everything looks good. And it does, guys. It looks really good to me. So my final step with the background cleanup part is to merge all of these layers together. So I'm going to select layer 1, and I'm going to go all the way down here, these 3 layers, hit shift and hit the bottom layer, and that's going to select all of them. I'm going to command E to merge them into one layer. So now we can see a good before and after. There is the before, and here is the after. All right, so that pretty much is what I do on all images that we have kind of difficult cleanups to do, especially with this right here. I've got a rack, a backdrop stand that holds 3 paper rolls. As you can see, there's green, there's pink, and there's white. The white stays there. And with that balloon going up above, it's kind of hard to, go around that. But this is what works for me. As you can see, once again, here is the before and here is the after. Now, about this lighting, I told you guys that this is a white backdrop. If you want a tutorial, actually not if you want, I am going to make, the next tutorial I make is going to be a full working tutorial showing you exactly how I position the lights, exactly what settings, which modifiers I use, whether I use a grid, whether or not, to achieve different lighting. So be looking out for that tutorial. But once again, y'all, this is the before. Major distractions, light stands, little legs, the wall, backdrop. The number is not on the backdrop, to the after. Okay, that is it, y'all. I have enjoyed this tutorial myself. I just get great joy out of sharing the little knowledge that I know with others. So if you also enjoyed the tutorial, leave me a comment, like the video so that it can help me keep making these for you guys. I just love it. I love everything about photography. And like I said, be on the lookout for the next tutorial that will be a hands-on working tutorial. I'm going to show you exactly the light modifiers that I use, the soft boxes, whether to grid them, whether to not, depending on the mood and the what you're going for with your images. So I cannot wait to bring that to you guys. Be on the lookout. If you have not already subscribed, please make sure you subscribe to my channel and go ahead and share this channel with someone else that you may think that needs it. I hope you all learned something from the video that you can use in your own photography, and I look forward to the next one. See you then.